Do you often find yourself putting others before you? Let's face it, in the hustle and bustle of our everyday lives, it's easy to forget the importance of prioritizing ourselves. Self-care isn't just about bubble baths and chocolates. It's about setting boundaries, nourishing our bodies, and saying goodbye to guilt. It's about embracing me time and celebrating our achievements. It's about growing, learning, and forgiving ourselves. So how do we start putting ourselves first? Let's jump into it. Firstly, you've got to set boundaries. Imagine you're in a garden. You wouldn't want anyone trampling over your flowers, would you? Just like that garden, your personal space needs boundaries too. Setting boundaries is like putting up a no trespassing sign. It's not about keeping people out, but rather protecting what's inside. Boundaries are essential for self-care. They're the limits you set to protect your energy, your well-being, and your peace of mind. They can be physical, emotional, or even digital. Yes, you heard it right, digital boundaries are a thing too. Creating boundaries might feel uncomfortable at first. You might worry about coming off as rude or selfish, but believe me, it's not. It's simply about respecting your own needs. Start by identifying what drains you. Then, decide on your limits and communicate them clearly. Be assertive yet respectful. And don't forget, it's okay to say no. Remember, your boundaries are sacred. Respect them. Scene script. Secondly, prioritize your mental health. Just as you wouldn't ignore a physical ailment, your mental well-being deserves the same attention and care. It's an essential part of your overall health and can greatly impact your daily life. So how do you prioritize it? First, recognize its importance. Understand that it's okay to not be okay, and it's perfectly fine to seek help when needed. There's no shame in reaching out to a professional, a trusted friend, or a supportive community. Second, make self-care a routine. Whether it's meditation, yoga, or a simple walk in the park, find what relaxes you and make it a habit. Third, keep the conversation going. Break the stigma around mental health by openly discussing it. The more we talk about it, the more we normalize it, and the easier it becomes for everyone to prioritize it. And finally, listen to your mind. It's often the first one to know when something is off. Pay attention to your thoughts and feelings. They matter. Your mental health is crucial. Never neglect it. Thirdly, it's time to say goodbye to guilt. Picture guilt as a pesky gnat buzzing about your head, distracting you from focusing on the things that truly matter. It's a nagging feeling that can drain your energy and cloud your judgment. But let's be clear, it's not a badge of honor, nor is it a sign of nobility. It's an emotional turbulence that hinders your progress on the journey to self-care. So, how do we combat this guilt? Start by recognizing it. Acknowledge that guilt is a normal human emotion, but it's not one that should rule your life. Next, try to understand its source. Is it coming from societal pressures, personal expectations, or past experiences? Once identified, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this guilt reasonable or self-imposed? Most times, you'll find it's the latter. Remember, prioritizing yourself is not selfish, it's essential. Guilt is a heavy burden, let it go. Scene script. Fourthly, embrace me time. Ah, the elusive me time. We often consider it a luxury. But here's a secret, it's not a luxury, it's a necessity. Imagine your mind as a bustling city. There's traffic, noise, and constant movement. Me time is like that quiet park in the middle of the city, a sanctuary where you can breathe, regroup, and recharge. Think of it as a date with yourself. You wouldn't cancel a date with someone you care about, would you? So don't cancel on yourself. Whether it's a quiet cup of tea, a long walk, or simply sitting in silence, make sure to carve out time just for you. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. By embracing me time, you're refilling your cup, rejuvenating your mind, and replenishing your soul. It's a time to disconnect from the world and connect with yourself. Me time is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Scene script. Fifthly, nourish your body. You see, self-care isn't just about mental wellness. Physical health plays a pivotal role too. Think of your body as a well-oiled machine. If you don't fuel it right, it won't run smoothly. So, how do we nourish our bodies? Let's start with hydration. Water isn't just a thirst quencher, it's the elixir of life, helping your body function optimally. Next, embrace a balanced diet. No, you don't have to become a salad worshiper overnight. Just try to incorporate a variety of nutrients in your meals, from proteins and carbs to vitamins and minerals. Don't forget about physical activity. Whether it's a brisk morning walk, a sweaty gym session, or a calming yoga routine, find what works for you and stick to it. Lastly, prioritize sleep. Catching those Z's is as important as eating right and staying active. It's the time when your body rejuvenates and heals. Your body is your temple. Nourish it well. Sixthly, learn to delegate. All too often, we find ourselves juggling multiple tasks at once, not realizing that this is a surefire path to burnout. Delegation is the key to managing this overload. But how do we delegate effectively? Well, the first step is recognizing that you can't do everything yourself, no matter how much of a superhuman you think you are. It's not about shirking responsibility, but rather about sharing it. Identify tasks that others can do, perhaps even better than you can. It could be as simple as asking a colleague to handle a report or a family member to take care of the groceries. The second step is empowering others to take on these tasks. Provide clear instructions, but also allow them the freedom to approach it in their own way. Trust in their abilities, and you might be surprised at the results. Remember, delegation is not a sign of weakness, but a strength. Seventhly, celebrate your achievements. In the grand scheme of self-care, recognizing and celebrating personal achievements is a key element that often goes unnoticed. It's not just about setting goals and working towards them. It's also about taking a moment to appreciate the journey you've embarked upon and the milestones you've hit along the way. Every achievement, whether it's finally mastering a new skill, reaching a fitness goal, or even managing to cook a healthy meal for yourself, is a testament to your resilience, determination, and self-love. It's not about the size of the accomplishment, it's about the effort you've put in and the progress you've made. So the next time you cross off something from your to-do list or reach a personal goal, take a moment to bask in your success. Give yourself a pat on the back, do a little happy dance, treat yourself to something you love. Because every achievement, big or small, is worth celebrating. Scene script. Eighthly, set realistic goals. This might sound like common sense, but you'd be surprised how often we set ourselves up for failure by creating goals that are more like fantasies. It's like saying, I'm going to run a marathon, when you've never jogged around the block. Realistic goal setting is a cornerstone of self-care because it sets us up for success. Achieving our goals boosts our confidence, and with each little victory, we feel more empowered. It's about setting targets that are challenging, yet attainable. Now, how do you set realistic goals? Start small. Think baby steps rather than giant leaps. This could be as simple as committing to drinking 8 glasses of water a day or walking for 30 minutes every evening. Next, make your goals specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. This is known as the SMART approach. Lastly, remember to be flexible. Life is unpredictable, and it's okay to adjust your goals as needed. Realistic goals pave the way for success. Ninthly, disconnect regularly. In our always-on, hyper-connected world, finding time to unplug and disconnect can feel like a Herculean task. But let's dive into why it's essential for self-care. Our brains are not built for the constant influx of information and stimuli that modern technology provides. This unending stream can lead to mental fatigue, stress, and even burnout. Disconnecting regularly from technology allows our minds to rest, recharge, and rejuvenate. It gives us the space to reflect, to breathe, and to reconnect with ourselves and the world around us. It's like hitting the reset button on your brain. And it's not just about mental health. Regular digital detoxes can improve your physical health too. Studies have shown that excessive screen time can lead to poor sleep, eye strain, and other health issues. So whether it's a few hours each day or a full day each week, make time to disconnect. Remember, you're not a machine. You don't always have to be on. A digital detox can do wonders for your well-being. Tenthly, learn to forgive yourself. Now this is a big one, isn't it? Self-forgiveness is a cornerstone of self-care. It is the soothing balm that heals the wounds of regret and guilt. But how do you forgive yourself? Start by acknowledging that you're human. You're not perfect. And guess what? No one is. You're allowed to make mistakes, and more importantly, you're allowed to learn from them. Mistakes are not life sentences, they are life lessons. Next, stop replaying the past. It's like a bad movie that won't stop playing. But here's the remote control: your mind. Fast forward to the present. What's done is done. You can't change it, but you can decide how it shapes you. Finally, treat yourself with kindness. Speak to yourself as you would to a friend. Would you berate them for their past mistakes? No. So why do it to yourself? Remember, forgiveness starts with yourself. You deserve your own forgiveness as much as anyone else. 11thly, cultivate healthy relationships. Let's dive into the wonderful world of human connection. Imagine your relationships as a garden. Some plants thrive in the sun, others prefer the shade, but all need nourishment to grow. In the same way, different relationships require different types of care. To cultivate a healthy relationship, start by fostering open communication. Like watering a plant, it's essential to keep the lines of dialogue flowing. Next, respect is like the sunlight that allows a plant to photosynthesize. Without it, no growth can occur. Additionally, showing appreciation is like the fertile soil that nourishes the roots, providing the essential nutrients for a relationship to thrive. Remember, it's okay to weed out relationships that drain or harm you. Just like a garden, it's important to remove the weeds that can choke out the healthy plants. Ultimately, cultivating healthy relationships is an act of self-care because healthy relationships are the bedrock of a happy life. Lastly, invest in personal growth. It's like the cherry on top of your self-care sundae. You see, personal growth isn't about becoming someone else, it's about becoming the best version of you. It's about learning, evolving, and pushing your boundaries. So how can you invest in personal growth? Well, it starts with a commitment to learning. Read books, take online courses, or listen to podcasts. Expand your knowledge and open your mind to new perspectives. It also involves stepping outside your comfort zone. Try new activities, meet new people, and challenge your fears. Remember, growth often happens at the edges of our comfort zone, not within it. Don't forget to reflect on your experiences. Reflection is a powerful tool for personal growth. It allows you to understand your thoughts, feelings, and actions, and use them as stepping stones to greater self-awareness and self-improvement. Personal growth is the best investment you can make. It yields dividends in happiness, fulfillment, and self-confidence that last a lifetime. So there you have it, 13 ways to start prioritizing self-care. From setting boundaries and saying goodbye to guilt, to embracing me time and nourishing your body. We've explored learning to delegate, celebrating achievements, setting realistic goals, and the importance of regular disconnection. We've also delved into forgiving oneself, cultivating healthy relationships, and investing in personal growth. It's all about putting yourself first because you deserve it. How do you like to put yourself first? Share with us in the comments below. Remember, self-care is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong commitment. It's about making conscious decisions every day that prioritize your well-being and happiness. So why not start today? It's okay to take small steps. Every journey begins with a single step, and it's okay to progress at your own pace. Remember, self-care isn't about perfection, it's about progress. It's about leading a balanced and fulfilling life, where you give yourself the same care and attention that you give others. So, are you ready to start prioritizing yourself? The time is now. You've got this.